Kick off today's journey with a story of overlooked treasure, a small, silvery disc that slipped quietly into circulation in 2003, bearing the name Alabama, yet hiding a remarkable saga beneath its familiar ridges. When you hold that quarter between your fingers, you're not just touching a sliver of metal. You're gripping a chapter of American history, a work of art in miniature, and a piece whose value has quietly surged beyond face value. For seasoned collectors and anyone fortunate enough to own one of these coins, the tale behind the Alabama 2003 state quarter is as compelling as the gleam of its rarest specimens. Let's unpack the origins, the markers of true rarity, and the market milestones that can turn a pocket filler into a prized trophy. The story begins more than 2 centuries ago, with the birth of the United States Mint in 1792 and the vision of Congress to create coins that would unify a young nation. Fast forward to 1999, when the state quarters program was launched to celebrate each of the 50 states in the order they ratified the Constitution or were admitted to the Union. Alabama, the 22nd state, was slated for 2003. Behind the scenes, mint artists and engravers pored over designs, seeking imagery that would capture Alabama's spirit. They settled on an outline of the state superimposed on a map, a representation of stars fell on Alabama, and the date of statehood, elements that link geography, history, and local lore in a single frame. By October of that year, millions of these quarters were flooding into circulation, meant to spark interest, collectability, and a renewed sense of state pride. Yet most of these quarters simply rode the change stream, pocket to register to piggy bank, making the condition and minting details crucial in distinguishing the everyday examples from those that quietly appreciated in value. Key identifying features start with the obverse, the familiar profile of George Washington, but flip it over and you see Alabama's silhouette, the shooting star recalling the 1833 Leonid meteor shower that inspired the song Stars Fell on Alabama. Look for sharp, well-defined state borders, crisp lettering, and a smooth field around the design. When those elements stand out boldly against the background, you're likely looking at a high-grade piece, perhaps even a mint state example that never saw the rough tumble of circulation. Rarity often hides in the details. While the Philadelphia and Denver mints each struck over 500 million Alabama quarters, certain die varieties and errors are scarce. One notable variety is the filled die issue, where the reverse die's recesses become clogged with grease or debris, resulting in weak or missing details around the state outline. These filled die specimens are unintentionally scarce because they were caught early in production and pulled from circulation. Contrast that with the standard strike, and you can see why collectors prize those oddballs. They represent a minting hiccup, a fleeting moment frozen in metal that most coins don't capture. Turning to market performance, the Alabama quarter generally trades for its face value when worn, but as soon as you step into the mint state world, values climb. A brilliant MS-65 specimen might fetch around $3 to $5, while the truly exceptional MS-67 pieces, showing razor-sharp detail and full luster, can command $20 to $30 a piece in today's market. Auction records highlight the pinnacle. A single MS-68 Plus graded by a leading service brought over $100 in a specialized sale last year, proof that condition is king. Those headline-grabbing prices often occur when multiple bidders, history buffs, state-focused specialists, and general collectors collide in pursuit of perfection. But auctions only tell part of the story. Peer-to-peer sales on collector forums reveal consistent demand for well-preserved Alabama quarters. Even mid-tier MS-63 examples routinely trade for $6 to $8, a healthy premium over bags of circulated coins. What drives that premium? Beyond condition, it's the storytelling potential. Each high-grade Alabama quarter is a tactile remnant of the state quarters program, a modernization of coinage that engaged millions of Americans in collection for the first time. Owning one in pristine condition ties you to that grassroots enthusiasm, and that emotional connection translates into real-world bidding wars. Stories associated with the Alabama quarter add another layer of allure. Some collectors seek pieces from the very first production runs. Coins struck in October 2003 that exhibit slightly softer relief as the dies broke in. Others chase the elusive double dip Die variety, where die polishing left faint secondary impressions around the state borders, visible only under magnification. A few documented hoards turned up in bank shipments as recently as 2018, filled with quarters still shining as if freshly minted, offering lucky collectors a chance to pull out high-grade gems from rolls long thought exhausted. Condition-based value variations underscore just how critical grade is. In heavily circulated grades, good, G4, or very good, VG8, Alabama quarters trade at face value plus a small premium for eye appeal, maybe 30 cents to 50 cents over face. In fine, F12 to extremely fine, F40 condition, you might see $1 to $2 each, a sweet spot for casual collectors who want an upgrade without breaking the bank. Once you hit about uncirculated -50 Australian dollars and mint state, MS 60 and above, values escalate swiftly. And -58 Australian dollars could fetch $3 to $4. MS 62 often sees $5 to $7. MS 64 jumps to $10 to $15. Beyond that, every point of grade can double the price. In other words, a single numerical grade bump from MS 65 to MS 66 might mean an extra $10 in your pocket. It's not just about the grade, though. Eye appeal refinements, like stunning satin luster or vibrant cartwheel flash, can push a coin above its standard grade value. A yellowish tinge from early toning might repel some, but collectors who prize original surfaces will pay a premium for that untouched look. Meanwhile, careful cleaning or mishandling can slash value dramatically. One misguided scrub with an abrasive cloth can transform a $20 MS 66 candidate into a $5 MS 60 coin. That's why provenance and handling history matter. Coins that come directly from original mint rolls, stored in protective flips, often sell at a healthy premium because buyers trust they've never been tampered with. And then there are the fun anecdotes. A dealer in Birmingham once discovered a small stash of Alabama quarters in a safety deposit box, untouched since 2004, their surfaces gleaming like new. Word spread through collecting circles, and those coins sold out within days, a testament to the enduring fascination with state-themed issues. Elsewhere, a world-class collection exhibited at a regional show featured an Alabama quarter with an almost imperceptible die crack running through the star, an error so minor that it was overlooked for years, only to be authenticated and sold for over $200. These stories reinforce that even the most modest coin, when viewed through the right lens, can yield unexpected surprises. With the Alabama story laid out, you've seen how background, rarity factors, market trends, and condition interplay to transform a 25-cent piece into a collectible worth many times its face value. Up next, we'll turn our attention to another pillar of the state quarters program, the Pennsylvania 1999 issue, a coin whose own narrative and market journey are every bit as captivating. So stay tuned for the next chapter. Sliding seamlessly from Alabama's hidden tales into Pennsylvania's proud heritage. Picture this, a 1999 state quarter that doesn't just jingle in your pocket, but whispers of coal-black mountains, steel-forged cities, and the very cradle of American independence. When you lift that smooth-edged disc to the light, you're not only glimpsing George Washington's profile, you're unlocking a saga that spans colonial revolutions, industrial booms, and the heartbeat of countless communities. For serious collectors, and anyone holding one of these coins, understanding its journey from mint press to auction block can reveal why a quarter sometimes feels more like a small treasure chest. On the coin's obverse, you see the familiar bust of Washington, rendered with subtle refinements for the state quarters series, sharper hair details, more pronounced cheekbones, a hint of his stately bearing. Flip it, and you confront Pennsylvania's silhouette embracing a domed statue figure, a fusion of geography and iconography rarely seen on circulating coinage before. Key identifying features begin with the dome's segmented panels, the folds in the statue's garments, and the crisp state border. Collectors look for fully struck stars around the rim, clear separation between the statue's torch and arm, and stray die polish lines that can signal a specific die pair. Under magnification, the quality of the strike around the state's eastern panhandle and western curves can reveal whether you're holding a standard strike or an exceptional specimen likely to earn a top grade. while over 500 million Pennsylvania quarters were minted at Philadelphia, P, and an even larger number at Denver, D. Scarcity comes in the form of subtle die varieties and striking anomalies. The most coveted is the extra leaf high variety, a tiny raised die gouge near the corn stalk that resembles an extra leaf above the main leaf cluster. Discovered in early production, only a limited run of coins carries this die imperfection before the die was polished away. Those extra leaf-high specimens trade regularly among specialists because the minute flourish adds a collectible twist. Similarly, the double die obverse examples, where Washington's hair shows faint secondary outlines, are prized by die variety collectors and can command three-figure prices when authenticated and slabbed. Turning to the marketplace, the Pennsylvania quarter's baseline value in circulated grades remains close to face value. But as soon as coins enter the about uncirculated and mint state arena, premiums kick in. And negative $50 might sell for $1.50 to $2.50, reflecting modest wear but full design visibility. Move up to MS 60 or MS 61, and you're looking at $3 to $5. MS 63 pieces often trade for $10 to $15, while MS 65 examples with robust luster and minimal contact marks regularly hit $25 to $35. Auction records underscore the ceiling. A certified MS 67D mint-marked Pennsylvania quarter, showcasing razor-sharp detail and superb brightness, realized $150 in a specialist sale last autumn. That sale drew fierce bidding from state quarter aficionados, history-minded investors, and die variety chasers alike, each recognizing that condition and provenance can turn a mere 25-cent planchet into a four-figure prize. Interactive collector forums reveal another dynamic: pedigree matters. Coins traced back to original mint rolls, often sold in sets by early adopters who stored their state quarters and albums, tend to fetch 20 to 30% more than similar grade coins from generic bank rolls. Collectors trust that those roll-fresh coins haven't been handled, cleaned, or exposed to contaminants, preserving their original satin-like finish. In contrast, coins showing even slight abrasions from counting machines or careless handling can see their value trimmed. One forum member lamented sending a suspected MS 66 coin to grading, only to see it return as MS 64 due to subtle hairline scratches, an experience that underscores the fine line between a modest premium and a standout jackpot. Beyond die varieties and condition, stories breathe life into the Pennsylvania quarter's collectible appeal. A legendary find occurred in 2015 when a schoolteacher in Pittsburgh discovered an extra leaf-high variety in pocket change. Unaware of its rarity, she spent the quarter on lunch, but a vigilant cashier recognized the anomaly and returned it. That single coin later sold for over $500 at a regional coin show, making headlines and inspiring a wave of searching through change jars. In another corner of the hobby, a California collector assembled a matched pair of P and D extra leaf-high Pennsylvania quarters, each graded MS 66 by a top service. The pair brought $1,200 when auctioned as a set, illustrating how matching varieties intensify collector fervor. Condition-based value swings are dramatic. In heavily worn grades, good to very good, the quarters market remains flat at roughly 30 to 50 cents above face, a trivial bump for pocket change. In fine to extremely fine, values rise to $1 to $2, appealing to casual collectors who want a visibly attractive example without a big outlay. Above that, the gradient steepens, negative 58 Australian dollars coins, showing minimal friction on the high points, sell for around $4 to $6. MS 62 can leap to $7 to $10. MS 64 hits $15 to $20. From MS 65 upward, each grade increment can double or triple value as the community chases the ever-elusive near-perfect strike. An MS 66 might fetch $40 to $60. MS 67 pushes into three digits. MS 68 and above cross the $200 threshold, reserved for coins with textbook surfaces, flawless rims, and eye appeal that pops under any light. Auction formats also influence realized prices. Live auctions at major numismatic events, where bidders see coins in hand and compete in real time, tend to drive higher sale prices than online-only sessions. The emotional energy, hands raised, paddles clicked, can push prices 10 to 20% above pre-auction estimates. By contrast, fixed-price dealers offer instant sales at slightly lower fills, often 5 to 10% beneath auction realizations, reflecting their cost of inventory and grading fees. For the Pennsylvania quarter, both channels remain active. Seasoned investors bid in auctions for top-graded gems, while newcomers pick up solid AU and MS 60 grade coins through dealer stocks or peer-to-peer marketplaces. Collectors also track Cameo and Deep Cameo proofs, although proof versions of the state quarters weren't released into circulation. A Deep Cameo proof Pennsylvania quarter in a limited special mint set can fetch $20 to $30 in PR, 69 DCM, and rare PR, 70 DCM examples, virtually flawless, have sold for over $100. These proof coins, struck on polished planchets with specially treated dies, exhibit frosted devices against mirrored fields, a visual treat that contrasts with business strikes and caters to type collectors seeking the full spectrum of state quarter issues. As you evaluate your Pennsylvania quarters, remember that each grade point, each anomaly, and each provenance detail can transform a modest piece of pocket change into a coveted collectible. So examine closely, think strategically, and consider joining specialized auctions or state quarter clubs to stay abreast of emerging trends. After all, in the world of numismatics, even the most familiar coin can reveal hidden depths, and that's what makes the journey endlessly rewarding.